Hi, welcome to Audiobook Academy. This is a self-paced audiobook. There's no need to keep an eye on things. Just pay attention. Thank you for taking the time to listen. This is a book summary of Jab, 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 right by Gary Vaynerchuck. Using your story to stand out in a noisy social environment. If you are familiar with Gary Vaynerchuck, you are aware that he is a master storyteller. Throughout Jab, 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 Right Hook, Gary teaches you how to effectively tell your story on social media, allowing you to grow your business while delighting your fans and followers. Despite the fact that it was first published in 2013, which, in social marketing terms, places the book alongside the discovery of fire, the majority of his advice remains relevant today. Gary V says that every year, the world gets a little smaller, a little more social, and a little more connected. A walkthrough of the most popular social media channels at the time, including Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr and others is provided by Gary Vaynerchuck. He also provides us with valuable insights into what makes each of them different and unique, as well as how you should jab at each of them in order to land a powerful right hook later on. Using a boxing analogy, jabs are the light pieces of content that benefit your customers by making them laugh, snicker, ponder, play a game with them, feel appreciated, or escape. Right hooks are calls to action that benefit your businesses. Every social media platform has its own set of advantages that are counterbalanced by a set of disadvantages. We embrace the power that is emerging from the social world and present it in this brief summary of the book. The in-depth description of each activity and how to take advantage of any process will enthrall the readership. It would be boring if I tried to play all of the ideas here and went into great detail about this subject. So that's the end of it. It is possible to discover them by reading the nuggets or the entire book. One critical aspect is what distinguishes each social network, both current and future, from the others. It doesn't matter which platform is the new kid on the block, this advice will remain the same because they all boil down to the same basic human requirements. In today's world, we are all required to operate as media corporations. However, creating content solely for the sake of creating content is pointless. Keep it simple, says the author. Make a lasting impression. Make it aesthetically pleasing to look at. Make reading a pleasurable experience. Who exactly are we? Despite the fact that your company's micro-content will vary greatly from day to day, it is mandatory to provide a consistent response to this question. And, despite the fact that each social network has its own set of characteristics, this is true of all of them in general. Do not pretend to be someone or something other than who you truly are. Having said that, don't take yourself too seriously either. Keep your humanity in mind. When you acknowledge your humanity and vulnerability, people respond positively. Both in your jabs and in the right hooks, you must make it as simple as possible for your fans to interact with you. And only one call to action should be given to them. Allow them to take their actions without becoming annoying. Because multiple calls to action are often indicative of the absence of any call to action at all. There is no longer a centralized node. There's a good chance this is another important concept that will catch your attention. There is no single corporate website that encompasses the entirety of your online presence. In order to be successful, you must be present everywhere and speak the language of the various platforms. Success in social media ultimately boils down to three things: understanding the nuances of your platform, adopting a distinct voice, and driving your business objectives. Gary Vaynerchuck raises concerns about the marketing potential of Google+ early on in this book, while placing a strong emphasis on the potential of Google Glass later in the book. When it comes to Google+, perhaps his reservations were justified. However, Google Glass is currently unavailable on the market, despite the fact that virtual and augmented reality devices from companies such as Samsung, Microsoft, and the Facebook-owned Oculus continue to grow in popularity. The world is becoming a little smaller, a little more social, and a little more connected with each passing year. Things move at breakneck speed in the world of social media. And the only way to stay one step ahead of the competition is to adopt new platforms as quickly as possible. There isn't any time for second-guessing yourself. All you have to do is speak the appropriate language, act as if you've been there since the beginning, and attract the appropriate number of fans. As a final but important point to remember, content is king, context is God, and then there's effort. So put forth the necessary effort. Maintain a competitive edge by out-hustling and outworking your competitors. Being cool has nothing to do with your age, rather, it has everything to do with how strong your sense of self is. Make it as simple as possible. Make a lasting impression. Make it aesthetically pleasing to look at. Make reading a pleasurable experience. We adore displays, symbols, and other items that quickly and silently communicate who we are to the rest of the world. Better yet, visual reminders of who we want to be are extremely popular with us. Your first and most important job, no matter who you are or what kind of company or organization you work for, is to tell your story to the consumer, wherever they are and, ideally, at the moment they are making a purchasing decision. Social marketing is now a job that is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Here are 3 excellent takeaways from the book. Without a social media presence, you are doomed to failure. First and foremost, you must consistently deliver excellent content that is specifically tailored to the platform before you can expect anything in return. Instagram is your best bet if you want to generate massive engagement among the general public. One of the most important lessons is that if you are not on social media, you will lose. Although there are 327 million phones in the United States, there are only 317 million people living there as of April 2014. That is a greater number of phones than there are people. It's no surprise that everyone seems to have their iPhone glued to their hand. Furthermore, Facebook is used by 70% of Americans, Snapchat has 100 million daily active users, and 400 million people use Instagram each month, the platform that outperformed Twitter last year in terms of user numbers and engagement. People are utilizing social media in large numbers, and wherever the attention is focused is where marketers should focus their efforts. It is normal for new media to supplant old media, but the revolution is occurring at an ever-increasing rate because more people can be reached at a greater scale. It took 38 years for radio to reach 50 million people, and it took 13 years for TV and Instagram to reach the same number. It will take 18 months. If you haven't already, get started right away. If you are not active on social media, you will be left behind. Lesson 2. Before you can ask for something in return, you must consistently deliver excellent content that is tailored to the platform. Producing excellent content is the only way to succeed in the social media game. In the past, this might have meant one set of 6 fantastic television commercials that ran for 6 months, but now it means fresh, fantastic, daily content that is available all year long. What is the best way to go about it? It's simple, you delegate the task to your supporters. Because after all, that is the purpose of social media platforms. You provide the framework for a great story, which you have crafted around your brand, and then you allow the users to contribute, engage, and fill in the blanks as needed. The key is to provide so much value to your fans and community that when you ask for a sale, people will actually feel guilty for not supporting you because you have provided them with so much value in return. Give, and then ask, that's what jab, right hook represents, give, and then ask. However, not all jabs are created equal, and you should keep the following 3 considerations in mind when creating your content. 1. It cannot be irritating or intrusive in any way. You are not attempting to push your brand into the users' faces, so keep it professional. The most effective way to integrate visually appealing content is to do so subtly and seamlessly. It can't be too taxing on the body. Make your users jump through hoops instead of providing them with value. Make it entertaining, informative, and informative. It has to be built specifically for the platform on which it is running. This is a significant development. No, cross-posting from Instagram to Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr does not imply that you are providing consistently excellent content across all platforms. Gary asserts that content is king, but that context is divine. There's a reason why the top 20 Vine accounts are all comprised of comedians, why Twitter only allows 140 characters, and why Snapchat deletes all of its content once you've viewed it, among other factors. Never act in a way that is inappropriate for the platform on which you are acting. Lesson 3. If you want to get a lot of attention from people of all ages, be on Instagram. This lesson does not come directly from a book, despite the fact that it makes extensive use of the social media platform Instagram. Gary has been a big believer in Instagram from the beginning, and he has become even more so in the last 2 years. Last week, he released a video in which he demonstrated the immense power of Instagram in 2016 in just 28 seconds, a feat that was previously thought impossible. Instagram has significantly higher engagement rates than Facebook and Twitter combined, thanks to its 400 million users, 75 million of whom use it daily, and the fact that the platform forces you to consume all of the content in a single feed. Like Nathan Chan's Entrepreneurship magazine founder, Instagram accounts appear out of nowhere and amass a whopping 500,000 followers in just a year, proving that anything is possible. The 40 to 50-year-old woman is the fastest growing demographic on Instagram right now, demonstrating that not only do children use it, but that older generations are also catching on. There's a reason why the top 20 Vine accounts are all comprised of comedians, Why Twitter only allows 140 characters, and why Snapchat deletes all of its content once you've viewed it, among other factors. Never act in a way that is inappropriate for the platform on which you are acting. Lesson 3, if you want to get a lot of attention from people of all ages, be on Instagram. This lesson does not come directly from a book, despite the fact that it makes extensive use of the social media platform Instagram. Gary has been a big believer in Instagram from the beginning, and he has become even more so in the last 2 years. Last week, he released a video in which he demonstrated the immense power of Instagram in 2016 in just 28 seconds, a feat that was previously thought impossible. Instagram has significantly higher engagement rates than Facebook and Twitter combined, thanks to its 400 million users, 75 million of whom use it daily, and the fact that the platform forces you to consume all of the content in a single feed. Like Nathan Chan's Entrepreneurship magazine founder, Instagram accounts appear out of nowhere and amass a whopping 500,000 followers in just a year, proving that anything is possible. The 40 to 50-year-old woman is the fastest growing demographic on Instagram right now, demonstrating that not only do children use it, but that older generations are also catching on. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Please don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. See you in next audiobook.